Jonathan Schanzer is here. He's the Vice President of Research at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies and a former terrorism analyst at the Treasury Department. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
So I think the question that's on everybody's mind is that if these two were radicalized for quite some time, how did they go undetected?
Well, that's, I think, a big question that the FBI is going to have to answer in the days and weeks ahead. This does appear to be a catastrophic intelligence failure. The fact that we knew that these people were radical and that, in fact, they were training at a arms location where they're practicing. These are things that the FBI should have checked on. They should have been aware of this early on. And I should just add that this, of course, dovetails with what we saw in Paris as well, that there was an intelligence failure there, that the individuals responsible for that attack were not identified. And so it looks like we've got a trend that's running global right now, and that really should be cause for concern around the world.
So is it possible that the money trail will lead to some answers and perhaps maybe some missteps leading up to this unfortunate situation?
Look, it's possible. There was some news that I think was that Fox News broke this morning about a deposit of $28,500. It looks like that came from a loan that was taken out. This may have been tied to the pipe bombs that were found at the apartment of the assailants, and so it's possible that they had been planning to use that money for a future attack or perhaps to pay for what they had already financed. That's unclear, but what we can say is that the two assailants have done a fairly good job, as we understand it, of papering over that electronic footprint, that they were destroying their own electronics, making it that much more difficult for intelligence and law enforcement to track where they got their money, who they were talking to, and perhaps other means of putting together a network analysis.
But even with that, now that there's so much heat on the case, Jonathan, is it possible, perhaps with the money trail, the deposits that Catherine Herridge reported on earlier, is it possible now that this investigation can lead to others who possibly are involved with these two?
It's certainly possible, and of course, you know, we're looking abroad. We're looking at Pakistan. We're looking at Saudi Arabia. There's this neighbor allegedly who may have been involved in helping them acquire the weapons. All of these things, I think, are going to help us. But if they have, you know, they've died obviously, and they've done their best to destroy the trail electronically, which is our best means of piecing together a picture. That may suggest some challenges in the days ahead.
So, Jonathan, I want to leave with this. You know, we are told if you see something, say something. The question is, to whom do we say it? But also, you know, you mentioned that the FBI missed some of the possible clues. Farouk had target practice at a local gun range, and they asked one of the workers there, hey, did you notice anything? And he says, no, I mean, I noticed the guy's rifle was smoking, but that wasn't anything unusual to me. I asked, why was it smoking? The guy says, the worker says, and Farouk apparently told him that it was because it's new. So, you know, and the guy even said to the authorities now, he says, well, how do I detect if there's unusual behavior? How do we do this? We're not, we, the public, we're lay people. What do we do?
Look, as lay people, you can only point out what you think looks awkward or that looks possibly dangerous, and so we continue to tell the public that they need to just be aware of their surroundings, particularly in public places. What I point to, though, here is that this does look like an intelligence failure within the U.S. government. If we can now point with certainty to the fact that these individuals were radical and that they had been for months or perhaps years. But if they're
not, excuse me, Jonathan, but if they're not doing anything unusual, I mean, even, you know, their coworkers didn't notice anything unusual up until the last 20 minutes when Farouk left the conference room.
Right. And again, this is not for individuals who are not trained in this to know. But if you're the FBI, you need to be aware of who these people are, where they've been, and the fact that they may pose a threat to the United States. It's the professionals that need to prevent this, not individuals on the ground.
Do you think they'll be better equipped, the professionals that you're mentioning, be better equipped now to detect some of these cases in advance?
Look, this is an ongoing challenge, and I think that Paris and California now point to the fact that there are individuals that are flying beneath the radar, that maybe we need to refine some of our tools so that we can better identify some of these assailants before they emerge.
Jonathan Schanzer, we leave it there. Thank you so much.